Outer Banks 4 is all set to surprise the Pogues with the changes that no one really expected. Just when everyone thought the Pogues were done and dusted with their adventures, a mysterious man came and showed them a map of a treasure that could change their lives. And guess what? They decided to go for it. And now Outer Banks 4 will be all about this new treasure hunt. But that's all the show has been about since season 1. Then what's the difference? Well, the most important change in the show will be its theme. We saw Big John losing his life, and it gave us closure for season 3.
I'll see you. I'll see you at home, kid.
But it also means that the show won't be revolving around John B trying to find his father. Finding Big John was the reason why John B got wrapped up in the treasure hunting mess. But now that his father is gone, he won't have a lot of motivation to continue doing that. But he could still go on just to get over the trauma of losing his father and not being able to save him after all this while. John B tried everything to find his father, so we can only imagine how exhausting it would be for him to go back to the field and hunt treasure without looking forward to finally meeting his father. Fans are now wondering what could drive the plot of the show forward now that Big John won't be making an appearance on the show. It's pretty obvious that the same plot won't work anymore. There's a high chance that the creators still somehow connect the new treasure hunt to John B's father. But we're about to embark on a whole new journey in Outer Banks 4. This isn't the only difference, because the creators will also be breaking down the bond of Pogues eventually in Outer Banks 4. It's mainly because John B is the only one who genuinely wants to go on this adventure. And that's only because he would like to forget about what happened to his father for a while. But by the end of season 3, we saw him making a decision for all the Pogues when he accepted the offer of going on another treasure hunt. Although the Pogues looked excited initially, they eventually realized that John B is only doing all of this because he's living in denial, and they would refuse to risk their lives for it. So we might see the Pogues falling apart this season, which will be a huge change, as John B will be left alone, and he'll have to navigate through the hunt on his own. Besides, some people even think that Sarah won't be with John B either, as he'll start ignoring her and will be really distant, which will push her over the edge. Sarah also lost her father recently, so it will be a really hard time for her, and emotionally unavailable John B just won't be the best option. She would need support, because although her father hasn't always been the best, she'll be devastated as he lost her life while trying to save her. But John B is most likely to continue being distant, and this won't bode well for their relationship in the long run. The reason for this could be that John B is still not completely over the fact that Sarah cheated on him, and not with someone random, but with their biggest enemy, Topper, who's been in love with Sarah for so long. This could create a lot of problems between the two, and Sarah might actually give up on John B this time. Not only this, but Pope is also very career-oriented, so he's most likely to leave the group as soon as he gets an opportunity to continue his studies further. But by the end of Outer Banks 4, all the Pogues will get back together, and it will be so worth it to watch them solve the mystery of this new treasure together. Another change will be seeing Kiara and JJ as an official couple, having a good time together. In the last season, they ended their no-love pact, and we didn't get to see them hanging out as a real couple. And there was so much going on that the creators didn't pay much attention to their particular storyline. But in the new season, the love story of JJ and Kiara will take the center stage, and they'll be seen having some relationship issues as well. But at the end of the day, they'll figure things out, and we'll get to see them romancing more often, which will be so worth it after experiencing all the tension from the actual storyline. A very important thing that could happen in Outer Banks 4 is the revelation that Sarah and JJ are actually siblings. They seem to be pretty close in all the past seasons, but this time, the creators might finally tell us that they're bonded by blood. It's based on the fan theory that suggests that both Sarah and JJ have the same biological mother, but different fathers. So they are half-siblings. They could even bring Sarah's mother back into the scene, and it would change the whole show, considering how it's been a mystery for so long. We'll also get to see Sarah going through so many emotions, but the best part would be to know that she's JJ's sister. This theory is so widely known that even Madeline Klein, playing Sarah on the show, wants it to happen now.
But I've said this before, one of my favorites is JJ and Sarah being siblings because of the missing mom connection. But but our writers haven't been yet.
That is not it, because some fans even go as far to say that Sarah and JJ aren't the only ones that are related by blood, but all the Pogues are half-siblings, even John B and Sarah. It does sound creepy, but it will be a huge shocker for everyone if the creators actually decide to put this storyline in season 4. It will not just change everything, but will most likely result in the Pogues falling apart. Even if Sarah's mother doesn't make it to the 4th season, we'll at least get to know something about what exactly happened to her. and if she's alive or not. That's because it's been 3 seasons, and Outer Banks has practically ignored the topic of Sarah's mother, so they might be saving the whole plot line for a special season. And while we're on the subject of Sarah's mother, there's a fan theory that suggests that Limbri is the one. The same Limbri who was trying to find the shroud. But it's very unlikely that we'll get to see her again now that Big John is out of the picture. Another turn that Outer Banks 4 might take is of the location. They roamed at so many places while trying to find the El Dorado treasure, but in the new season, they'll be back to their home ground in North Carolina. It's because the 4th season will be all about Blackbeard's treasure that got lost with his ship. So the Pogues will be finding his shipwreck, and the history books suggest that Blackbeard's ship was last seen in North Carolina, so we could see the cast back to where we saw them in the 1st season. It's also important to know that the creators aren't just randomly basing the whole 4th season in North Carolina. There could be a twist to be revealed in the new season, and we might get to know that they were in possession of the treasure all along, while they kept looking for answers away from home. Some people think that Big John already had Blackbeard's treasure and he just hid it somewhere. The map is for the Pogues to find that hidden treasure. Besides, the creators won't just take Big John out of the story without having a hidden aim behind it, and it's only fair to assume that he actually left something for his son, since he spent all of his life trying to find treasure. So even after Big John lost his life, his story might continue to influence season 4, and we'll see the cast finding out that they were in possession of the treasure for so long. This will give John B some closure as well, thinking that his father actually thought about him and left him a whole treasure that waited for him back home. We could also see the villains of the show changing, as the cast isn't going after the El Dorado treasure anymore, so they're most likely to encounter new people, trying their best to outsmart them and trying to find Blackbeard's treasure. All the previous seasons were mostly about John B and his friends trying to escape in some way, and they were always on the run, but in the new season, this won't be the case anymore. It's mainly because after finding El Dorado, they became sort of celebrities back in town, and the authorities even held an event for them. So it does seem that the Pogues don't have to keep running anymore, and if they want, they can come back home at any minute. This wasn't the case before, as in the previous seasons, they didn't have a choice but to escape. But the choice in the new season will make it really difficult for them to continue their quest for treasure. Another big change that people are expecting from this season is to know if Big John is actually gone or if he would come back. Although we actually saw him lose his life, Outer Banks creators have faked it in the past, and they could do it again. It's possible that Big John was only doing it so the people who were after him could leave him alone. If Big John does come back, it will be really easy for John B to explore North Carolina and find Blackbeard's treasure. And it does sound a little far-fetched, but it would be the best plot twist on the show so far if Big John somehow survives and makes a cameo in the new season. Season 4 seems to be the season where the creators will start to tie all the knots and end the story of Outer Banks once and for all. As Big John lost his life and John B decided to go on an adventure all on his own, we feel like we're closer than ever to an ending, and Season 4 might actually provide the closure that fans have been hoping for. So, what do you think is going to go down in Outer Banks 4? Let us know in the comments, and thanks for watching.